La noche se acabó, pero tengo otra vez contigo. Le doy gracias a Dios, siempre pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Siempre lo pasamos bien lindo, lindo. Un verano contigo lindo, lindo. Ey. Me fui de vacaciones, baby, me perdí, buscando el sabor que encontré en ti. Canela con dolor de Bacardi, lo sentí, baby, me tiene desenfocado, viendo doble, bien borracho, demasiado jodido. Contigo, pasándome contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama. Tú y yo, un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito, bonito, un día bonito, bonito. Pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot.
Can hear me. Okay, thank you so much, Church Nelly. All right. Let's get to it, shall we? Hope everybody is having a fantastic. Oh, okay. Now you can. Okay. Seems like you can hear me now. Well, I can hear me, so you should be able to hear me now. All right. Happy weekend, everyone. Hope you are having an incredible weekend. Some very, very interesting updates. If you did not watch the last podcast, definitely go back and watch it. Lightside was on. We had some very interesting conversation. Love having her on, and I know you lot love having her on. And we're just going to continue some very, very interesting updates, including one that just absolutely blew my mind this afternoon. I was just like, I think there is so much more to all of this Sentebale mess than we know. And it's taken a pretty dark and weird turn. And all I have to say is God sees everything. And Sophie Chandauka and her minions, this is not going to end well for them. I'm actually just gobsmacked at just how brazen they are being with their greed, with their carelessness. They are more focused on getting whatever it is they want out of this and destroy. They know that they're destroying Harry's charity. Like, there's no way they truly believe that they can do better on their own. They've barely been able to do a basic fundraiser since all of this kicked off. And it tells me that there are other agendas, multiple agendas going on here. And I think one of them is trying to destroy Sentebale. At this point, I don't believe that anybody is trying to take over Sentebale to continue the work that Harry and Prince Issa were doing. I think it's just to destroy Sentebale. And I also think there is something else regarding one of Sophie Chanduka's business ventures, her corrupt business ventures. And we'll get onto that a little bit later. But let's start with, and also a couple of other things regarding the other royals, which we'll get into later on in the podcast. But let's just start with at least one positive thing. Meghan's wine. Now, she did acknowledge her overseas fans. She wrote on Instagram. I've actually put the wrong caption in this picture. I put the wrong caption. But she posted this picture with a caption. Let me just find it. With the caption. Oh yeah, she said, "Oh, we see you too, Australia, UK, Canada. Love to see how you're finding a way to your as ever products. You have good taste and good friends." Yes, a lot of people who have friends and family in the US sending over items, also forward shipping services. I think it's been a little bit difficult for some people to get the alcohol, but other things people have been able to get them. So great job to all the friends and family that have been doing that. And also there's a lot of squaddies who have very kindly been volunteering to do that for squaddies overseas as well. Always looking out for each other. Also, it was confirmed that they have indeed been upping their production and inventory over at As Ever. This was from Harper's Bazaar. It said after selling out its first 3 product offerings in April, June, and July, As Ever wanted to get our product to more customers, the spokesperson explains. To do so, As Ever increased its inventory by 3 times from its July rosé drop to its August rosé drop. The spokesperson says that the brand sold nearly 50% more on day 1 of its August 5th drop than it did in its July drop. That is amazing. As Ever saw 10,000 bottles of the 2024 Napa Valley Rosé purchased in the first 10 minutes that the wine was available to buy. That is incredible. That's almost 1,000 bottles a minute. That's wild. A brand spokesman shared exclusively with Harper's Bazaar. Of those purchases, 20% were made by repeat customers. So that means the other 80% were new customers, which is amazing. Many of which purchased the 6 and 12 pack sizes this go round, showing customer confidence and favorability for the rosé following the first wine drop. Amazing. So excited to see where else we start seeing this rosé, because the critics have loved it and the consumers love it. The potential for all of these products, restaurants, airlines, you name it, hotels, wholesale distribution, the potential is endless. So congratulations to Megan and her team. All right, so we've got some good news in. Now on to the other stuff. So where we left off last time was the Charity Commission cleared Harry of bullying, but they essentially did not do anything else to investigate exactly what it is that Sophie Chanduka was doing with Sentebale money, other concerns about the board having to feel like they have to step down, including the founders, and her bringing in a whole new board. Also, the fact that some of those people on that board, she was potentially paying through Sentebale money, and also that money could be being funneled into others. There was no further investigation into all of the other concerns regarding Sentebale. And then, despite the fact that Harry has been cleared of the bullying and misogyny and misogynoir that he is accused of, she's still there. So how was she still there? Because she made those allegations, she made those claims. She said, bold-faced on Sky News, that she had evidence, she had emails. She made those claims bold-faced on national TV and in several media interviews. So how is she still there? And then we find out that this is the same charity commission that failed to investigate Charles and other funny royal money. Many situations where money has been funneled into royal charities. Now, the first rather interesting link that was made between the royals and the Charity Commission was by Lightside on our last podcast. And I did some extra digging, and Lightside was indeed correct. So one of the people on the Charity Commission is this guy named Rory Brooks CBE. There are 3 people with royal honours, by the way, on the Charity Commission. One of them is Rory Brooks CBE. And as Lightside pointed out, he is also on the board of another charity called the Quintessentially Foundation. This is one of these so-called charities that, is concerned with alleviating poverty. They're always so concerned with alleviating poverty, aren't they? Also on the board of that charity is Ben Elliott. And who is Ben Elliott? He was appointed by Michael Gove as the Secretary of State for the Environment during the last Conservative government. And he is also the nephew of Camilla. So there, directly, you have a royal link to this so-called Charity Commission. There's also another person whose name I won't actually put him on the screen. But there's another guy who is on the board of the Charity Commission who has links to Ipso. Ipso, the organization that is meant to regulate the press but does shit all. And there's 2 other people with royal honours on the board. But I couldn't really find any other royal links regarding those two. So I decided to leave them out. But this link between this Rory Brooks and this Ben Elliott, I find that quite interesting. And there have been allegations of Camilla's nephew, profiting by giving access to Charles, but then the other royals often profit by giving access to themselves anyway. But here's where it starts to get even more strange. Sophie Chanduka has this strange biotech company called Nandi Life Sciences. Now, this temporarily disappeared and went blank for some time. The website is now back, and there's two rather interesting things. Number one, the page where she had all of the directors, so a picture of herself, her brother, who was also meant to be on the board of directors of this Nandi Life Sciences, and some other people, that has completely disappeared. What is now on the website, this wasn't on there before, she has added Sentebale to this website. Nandi's founders have enjoyed the privilege of a world-class education and international careers because of access to various merit-based scholarships and advocacy for business leaders throughout their careers. They are committed to paying it forward by supporting young people to achieve their dreams. As such, Nandi's founders are particularly proud to support the work of Sentebale in Southern Africa, particularly in Lesotho and Botswana. Sentebale works with children and young people with respect to achieving their health, wealth creation, and climate resilience goals with the support of key influencers in their communities. This woman took over Harry's charity and is now trying to use it for clout for this bogus Nandi Life Sciences biotech company that she's trying to start. I could not find any evidence that this Nandi Life Sciences has received any VC funding yet. But she probably is going to be trying to get funding, or she's been trying to get funding for some time. And when we first came across this video, immediately my mind went to Elizabeth Holmes, who was the famous failed startup founder of Theranos. And somebody else made that link too, because, and I shared it at the time, they made a whole video of basically comparing Elizabeth Holmes to Sophie Chanduka and the controversies around these biotech companies. A lot of them are started basically as money grabs. You'll be shocked how many of these biotech companies, pharmaceutical companies are started by people who don't even have experience in that space and in that field. They offer big promises to these investors who have all the money, but not that much going on in their brains, not a whole lot of due diligence, and they just throw their money anywhere. And I think that's, my theory is that was going to be where Sophie Chanduka was taking this. The other strange thing about this also is that Nandi Life Sciences is a biotech company that claims to look into autoimmune diseases. Sentebale works with young children who are suffering with HIV and AIDS. Could there be something dodgy going on there? Is she trying to, and this is just a theory, somebody did say, are they trying to steal biodata? Potentially. I don't know. I think that everybody involved in Sentebale at this point is not safe. And while I understand that, what Sentebale does is it's very life-saving for many of the people in the community. But first and foremost, the charity isn't even getting the funding that it needs right now. I just think that anybody involved in Sentebale needs to just cut ties. No one actually knows, because no one seems to be talking, what is going on the ground with Sentebale. If anybody has any news, any updates, I'd love to know. Like, is it even still running? Because if they're not getting funding, how are they running? What's going on with the volunteers? There seems to be no clarity on what's going on the ground. But if it's me personally and I was a volunteer or I was involved, I don't know. I wouldn't be wanting to have anything to do with these people because you don't even know what their agenda is at this point. And it's just so sad. But when I saw this, I thought, wow, the actual audacity to put Sentebale on her weirdo website for her weirdo biotech company. By the way, that picture, who's the picture taken by? Chris Jackson. Who is, I mean, he's obviously he's known for taking photos of Kate, but back when, you know, this picture was probably taken prior to Harry and Meghan leaving. But I find it so interesting that of all the pictures they use, they use one by Chris Jackson. I like honestly, when I saw this, my heart just sank. My heart just sank. Because what is she playing at? It's the boldness for me. Kevin, you said Meghan went on a few dates with Harry and they ended up married. Something those bitter Betty spent all their lives and couldn't do. Yeah, the jealousy is real. The jealousy is real. Yeah, Kenneth, sooner or later, all will be revealed. Like, I'm truly just lost for words, struggling to even put my words together. You can probably tell. Because there's so much I could say about it. I could talk for a good hour about this. The audacity. Where does one get this audacity? This is why I think Sophie cannot be doing this alone. She can't be doing this. There's no way that this lady, no matter how much of a con artist she may be, and there's evidence that she's been sucking companies dry of money in the past, there's no way she can be this bold with a British prince's charity. You're being this bold. Someone's backing her. Somebody is backing her. My gosh. Mina said, I sent you an article from Menegra. Yeah, I'll have a look at that later. Thank you. That's a great website. Definitely go and check them out. Church Nelly, you said they will never raise as much money for Sentebale as Harry did. They don't give a damn about the people the charity helps. Indeed they don't. Yeah, where are the real journalists? I also think at this point, somebody in Botswana and Lesotho also needs to step in. There's got to be some authorities on the ground there that can step in. Because I don't know how can a charity be active for so long, doing such great work, and then someone just comes in and does this. That's why I think there's really got to be something else going on behind the scenes. And that's why I don't think it's so far-fetched anymore to theorize that someone in the royal household has something to do with this or is giving Sophie the confidence to continue the way she is. At this point, I don't think it's that far-fetched, because it's one thing for you, say you're a con artist, to go into, you know, a charity or a corporate company and start playing these games. That happens every day of the week, all over the place. But we're talking about a charity that's almost 2 decades old, run by two princes, one of them being the British prince of the British royal family. Ain't nobody gonna be that bold unless somebody's backing them. I don't believe that. I believe that Sophie is a schemer and a liar, but that level of boldness, that's a special type of con artist. It's all gonna come out. Wendy, you said all these people are connected, they are protecting themselves. Indeed. Gwendolyn, the whole family is working against Harry. I don't know at this point. I mean, he must know at this point, especially since the last court case. But I don't think Harry has actually still understood that they want everything from him. Everything. Or maybe he has now. I don't know. I don't know. They will be coming for Invictus. I'm telling you now. That's why I'm a little bit hesitant as to whether or not he still gets it. It's not just about, oh, they wanted Meghan gone, away from the royal household. They wanted to destroy their businesses. It's like everything. They want to come for everything. Nico Mac on Twitter said, Prince Harry is in uncharted waters, but he'll figure it out. One thing for sure, anything he cares about should not be registered in the UK. As a senior royal, his and his wife's successes outside of the institution is something the firm will forever want to prevent. Exactly, because it's always going to be a threat to them. Somebody else said the real plan didn't play out as expected because Harry resigned. None of them expected him to resign so quickly. As it stands, things are now in limbo. They wanted him to stay on the board so they could do real damage. Yeah. And you know what? In my eyes, that's probably why Harry stepped down so quickly. I think he smelt a rat straight away. And I think it was made more obvious when, with an absolute quickness, Sophie creates a new board, and then you have that Ian Rowlandson, who's linked to William, put on the board. My. I wish I could do a call in today. I'm absolutely exhausted, and it's 1 a.m. So I don't have the energy to do a call in, but I want to do a call in about this in particular, because I know you'll definitely have some things to say about this. I would love to get Lightside back on, but it's just wild. Like, they're not even trying to pull back and scale down and save face. They're being more bold. Because what do you mean Nandi Life Sciences have been creating social impact and giving back to Sentebale? What do you mean? Okay, let's get on to the next thing. Yeah, Camilla having a great good old time on a yacht, on a Saudi tycoon's 30 million pleasure boat. To me, this is William's side of the palace clapping back after him and Kate's yacht holiday was exposed. But you know what this proves to me? This proves to me that a lot of the times I think that the press do actually get paparazzi pictures of the royals out and about. They just don't publish them. Because when have we ever seen Camilla on holiday, or how often do we see pat pictures of the royals like this? Literally never. Literally never. Either this is William's side of the palace clapping back, and this was on the front page, by the way, today. I couldn't believe this when I was in the supermarket. I actually saw this in the supermarket when I was shopping this morning before I even saw it online. Camilla and the Tory donors yacht on the cover of the Mirror. Queen's free summer getaway in Saudi tycoon's 30 million pleasure boat. It's also I'm also interested, were these pictures actually taken recently? Like, or did they have these photos for some time and they're just releasing them now? But it would appear that she is actually on holiday on this yacht. Kevin Maguire, who's the guy who, remember when he was having a debate with Piers Morgan and he said, "Oh, when you find out what happened, you're going to change your mind if you don't like Harry and Meghan. You will change your mind." He says this is wrong. Freeloading Camilla should not be on his super yacht. Blair in 2006, blocking a serious fraud office investigation into the Thatcher era Al Yamamaha arms deal to appease the Saudis with a shameful establishment cover up. And now here she is on their yacht. Shameful indeed. And quite surprising to see this on the cover of a tabloid. Whenever Charles departs this earth, it is going to get so ugly. It's getting ugly already, but it's going to get real ugly. Arrington, you said, let's encourage the New York Times to do investigative reporting of Sentebale. I mean, if I was a journalist that wanted a juicy story to uncover, this is the story. And also a story that actually does good for someone in the end, because this Sophie Chanduka, she needs to be exposed. And we need justice for all those people who she's basically pulled the rug underneath their feet. Juicy story with a purpose. Black Light, oh hey, I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. People may disagree with me, but Harry and Prince Ciso keeping quiet is the smartest move right now. I think so too. I think so too. I always say let the fool hang themselves. Give them the rope, let them hang themselves. But I do think eventually we're going to have to get to a time where they do sue. But, you know, Harry has been incredibly smart so far. Meghan has been very smart so far. And so I trust their judgment. I think the first step, they probably knew that the Charity Commission wasn't going to do ish. I think they knew that. But they let them do the investigation. So they can't say, oh, we tried to stop the Charity Commission, the useless Charity Commission. They've done it. So now, and they've published their report and their verdict, which is obviously rubbish. And that will come back to bite them, by the way. So I think it's good that they've done that and they haven't tried to get in the Charity Commission's way, because anyone that has 2 brain cells can see that their verdict is nonsense. So now if they want to sue and take it to the next level, now I think it even works in their favor even more. Queen E, I believe they're scamming money from charities. You know, it's interesting them putting Sentebale on the Nandi Life Sciences website, because presumably they want to try and get money, funding money for Nandi Life Sciences. I mean, they bought the website back. Who do they think is going to give them money now? Who? What respectable investor is giving them money, and to do what? Cynthia, you said, I am curious. Sentebale is a charity. If Sophie and her current board members are volunteers, where is she getting the money to live? Someone must be paying her. Exactly. Exactly. Because it's not like she has anything else going for her. So where is she getting the money from? Apparently, she also lives in New York. I mean, nobody actually knows where she is now, but she was living in New York. New York isn't cheap. Dear oh dear. Darylyn, you said yes, someone is backing this. They want complete destruction of the spade. Did you mean to say the spare? Yeah, Lulu. Maguire's comment has stayed with me ever since. God knows what goes on behind those palace walls. I mean, there are what, 400 pages of spare that we never saw. Tyler Perry himself said, if only you knew, if you knew more, if you knew the rest. Megan said at the end of Archetypes, what didn't you do to bury me? Those were her words. What didn't you do? They literally did everything and failed. Daryl, you said once Charles kicks the bucket, Harry should cut all ties. Indeed. After the funeral, that's it. That is it. Leave them to it. And if William wants to continue this one-sided battle, let him do it. He will run himself to the ground. And everybody will just be there watching him being a crazy king, obsessed with his brother and sister-in-law, while the UK spins further and further into craziness. Dorothy, yeah, Harry and Meghan have smart people in their camp. I trust them. Dad's favorite, he said, Harry needs to write part 2 of Spare. This is a perfect time. At this point, I'm pretty sure we could have a part 3 of Spare. You know, once Charles passes and we have the funeral, there will probably be enough for a part 4 of Spare. Craziness. Arrington, you said, and I think she's trying to clean up her name by bringing back Nandi website. Squaddies, I hope I keep the pressure on Sophie so that her corruption is uncovered sooner. Indeed. Indeed. We will be keeping the pressure up. We're not letting this go. Boney, William will be a mad king. Indeed he will, and I can't wait to see it. But he will not be the king of Granada, who are dropping the oath to Prince Charles. As of August the 1st, 2025, Granada will no longer swear allegiance to King Charles, his heirs, or successors. Instead, the oath of allegiance will be to Granada. Time to stand on our own 2 feet, many are saying. Congratulations to Granada. The Caribbean is generally doing a lot better, cutting ties, cutting monarchical ties than the continent of Africa is. So congrats to them. I think Jamaica's still going through the process. You know, there's like a whole parliamentary process they need to go through. But there is movement there, especially since that disaster tour. I think that was an absolute nail in the coffin. Like, if they were even thinking, should we maybe just try? Maybe we could just, try some other diplomacy, soft diplomacy. We could still have some. If there was any doubt before that, William and Kate, nail in the coffin. Now in the absolute coffin. Because what do you mean you're shaking hands with children behind steel metal barriers? What do you mean? What do you mean you're rolling around in colonizer cosplay on a Jeep? Ugh. Other thing that I wanted to mention. Oh yes, William. Now we all know that William wants to end homelessness. Yes. Well, he can maybe start by talking to private homeowners, landlords who want to raise their prices. So Labour's homeless minister Rushanara Ali, she spoke out against rent increases throughout her tenants and then increased the rent by $700 a month. You will never hear William talking about anything like this. It's always very, very surface level when talking about homelessness with William. But this is the stuff that's actually real and happening to people all the time. This is actually one of the main causes. He'll just show up and take a picture with that homeless guy who's selling the magazine. Anyway, she actually decided to resign. She wrote a letter to the Prime Minister with a heavy heart. I offer you my resignation. I mean, I think it's a good thing that she did. Mind you, it's not like she needs the money, as a minister, because she's clearly making enough money from rent. I don't think she actually. Yeah, she doesn't actually mention anything about the scandal, but she just sent a resignation. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but she doesn't actually mention what she was being called out for in the letter. And while things like this are happening, and even government ministers are being greedy, William's talking about moving into a whole castle, a bigger castle than the one that he's already in. And don't forget, William and Kate were meant to be living in Kensington Palace, which the taxpayers spent 12 million renovating, and they never moved in. You can't make this up. The Minister for Homelessness behaving like this. William, you're up. He said he's going to end homelessness. You can start here. It is a joke. It is an absolute joke, I tell you. Okay. That is all I wanted to mention for today. Thank y'all so much for being so patient with me. As always, I will read your comments and then we will wrap things up. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, please, on the way out. Thank you so much, Tamiko, for reminding everyone. Colleen, you said Harry should reconsider UK invictus. I mean, I don't know if they can at this point. They most definitely should, but can they? Blacklight, you also said, I know one thing, I bet after this, all of Harry's moves all businesses out of the UK. Well, I think the only thing he really has ties to in the UK is the Well Child charity. What else is he tied to here? Megan still does work for, what's that charity that helps women? Oh, SmartWorks. There's Well Child and SmartWorks. And I mean, in terms of business ties, that's pretty much all. But for Harry, I think the most important thing is his cultural ties and his heritage ties for him and his children. But he's not going to get to enjoy that, and his children won't get to enjoy that because it's just so unsafe. So yeah, Harry should cut ties, but he shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to feel exiled from his own country, and neither should his children. It's very sad. Lynn Jones, Harry has to be at the coronation of William because he is in line to the throne. I think Harry should pull a shock move and abdicate. He should pull a shock move and abdicate. And then there will be no having to show up to the coronation. I remember back in the early days when I said Harry should abdicate. Do you know other squaddies would get mad at me? They would actually yell at me. Like, how dare I suggest such a thing? And I'm just like, you all can't tell me what he is losing in comparison to what he's gained by leaving. Nobody can tell me what Harry would be losing if he abdicated. It's actually the institution that would be losing. But I think some people have come around now to my point of view, because there's nothing to be gained. It's a sinking ship. Yeah, cookies and cream. All the Sussexes want to do is live their lives in peace with their children. They're not bothering anyone. That ungodly family keep foolishly overplaying their hand is going to seriously backfire indeed. I mean, imagine that it actually comes out that this is all linked back to them. Anyway, gonna end things there. Thank you so much, y'all. Appreciate you all. And I will see you tomorrow. Ciao.